Let's talk about coral restoration.
Welcome to Colonize the Ocean podcast, where we discuss oceanic colonization, exploration, and education with your hosts Adam Jewell and Brendan Traxler.
So if you've been following, ASC for any period of time, we've talked and spoken and done live streams and probably done another podcast on this as well as far as coral restoration and the importance of that. And there's just a recent article came out that I just saw actually today, which is Sunday, April the 12th. I saw it pop up on my feed. It was discussing that coral recovery seems to, a study was done that's showing that coral recovery has been shown to progress faster on artificial um, structures versus in nature. And there's multiple reasons for that. And there's specific types of structures, but it got me thinking about the importance of coral restoration with the underwater habitat community. And one of the things we've talked about multiple times, and this idea partially came from a proposed. I mean, I think they created some, but they were super expensive. And then these floating houses that you could buy, and they had an underwater room to them, and they had like a lip that went all around underwater where they would custom build coral reefs on there to attract like the type of fish that you wanted and to have it the look that you wanted, and how you could do that with and then it got me thinking you could do that with an underwater habitat as well, and what that would look like, and customizing underwater habitats to create certain coral reefs, not just the shell, which naturally would do that if left unbothered, but to design the habitats for the purpose of not only living or vacationing or working, but also to be a living biome in and of itself. I see, down the road that you have a sandy area that you drop, or rocky area, whatever, that is otherwise depleted of most life, and you drop an underwater habitat there with a coral already growing on it, and you start to draw in this life and you create this life, and you're able to grow out areas of the ocean that may not have been as teeming with life as before, because you've introduced this artificial environment into it that brings along with it this lushness and this beauty, which we all strive for here in the underwater world. It's part of the reason we enjoy it so much, is the vastness, this alien environment with all these different colors and shapes and life that you just don't see here on land. That's why aquariums are such a draw, is to go see this alien world there. And what a better way to do it than waking up every morning to it, or going your 9 to 5 and your window outside is looking over a coral reef, and dolphins can swim by and stuff along those lines. And that's kind of the dream, the vision that ASC is producing, and it's how do we get there. But back to the point here is we cannot express enough the importance of coral to the life system of the oceans. And as a company, we're striving to be a part of this universe, this underwater life, this lifestyle, I guess you could say. It is imperative to us that we look at how to symbiotically work with not only other organizations out there doing coral restoration, but on how to add to the environment that we enter into. It's the last thing we want to do, is to drop a habitat, to put this artificial structure underwater and do anything except for add to the area. And so that's really, one of the core aspects of ASC is as we're moving forward. So I think that if you're into coral restoration, I think that ASC can be a great fit for you. It's one of those things where I'd love to partner, and if we've reached out, we've talked to different ones over the years, some coral restoration groups. because with a floating or not floating platform, but an underwater habitat, an underwater platform, we can mount this thing with cameras where we can be watching this coral all the time. We can be taking samples of the water around there. We can load it up with sensors and cameras and all the equipment you need to monitor this, as well as being a dry environment that people can go hang out with, watch this coral on a first basis, where you don't have to rely on scuba diving down and looking at it. We can take on much larger aspects of this in a controlled environment, and at the same time have a good time doing it too. Yes, I mean, people still love to scuba dive and are going to do that regardless. But I'm just saying, this is another opportunity to take it up a notch, I guess you could say, and take it into a new direction. So if for some reason there is someone out there that's listening that is involved in coral restoration, we would love to talk. Shoot us a message. Shoot me a message. And let's discuss that. But for everybody else out there that is wanting to experience the ocean, ASC wants to make sure that your experience is the best it can be, staying underwater, staying dry underwater, and able to just visit or hang out, or hopefully someday work. So, I guess the question that I always try to pose out there is, what type of coral would you want? There's so many different types, and and then those that know are going to know. A lot of people just think coral is coral, but it's not. There's, hard corals and fan corals and all these different types of stuff out there, and they bring in all different types of life with them. So what kind of coral would you want in your underwater habitat?